I think there was a fastish lane on the inside, but when you see the next race we're about to show you, Avantage just holds Expression, who came from near last, and Sammy Cope was good coming from back in the field. If you were betting, I wanted to be backing horses on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think that's exclusive to bad track management. I think that's just the way racing is in this country once you get to firm tracks. Here's another horse who ended up, Bruce, exactly where you wanted her in exactly the same, well, not exactly the same colours, more or less the same colours.
Yeah, prime spot, wasn't it? Avantage behind the leader, Stella Noir. Loose Cannon, 3-back defence, and Expression, they're all on the rails, the main contenders. I'm suggesting Loose Cannon because with clear running, I think she would have run third, but not strong tempo. Stella Noir, disappointing again. Avantage gets the box seat. Here's the arrows here, Avantage, and look at that bias towards the inside there.
There's Loose Cannon copying on there.
And Loose Cannon, different horse. It was a lot more on the bridle at 1,200 metres. I thought second up after the 1,200 metre run, she might have been a bit flat. She also strikes trouble on the inside in those Go Racing colours, trying to go underneath Stella Noir. But Avantage, she looked like she'd improved from the run from what we saw of her in the pre-race. And this is a really good effort because Expression came to win.
Are we really seeing, is it possible we're going to see a really exciting rivalry amongst these two fillies over the next few weeks? Like, for the season maybe? Are they those sort of fillies where you have that sort of Glamour Bay versus Powley type scenario?
Not just these two. Melt is an exceptionally good filly. Right. We saw a winner earlier in the program, and Princess Emily, who was very good beating the boys, and she's a big, strong Schnitzel filly. This is the race of the season, of the early season. There's no doubts about that. Avantage, Melt, Expression, Emily Margaret we'll see later. Media Sensation hasn't been so hot so far at the trials, but is very talented. Loose Cannon's good, as Bruce said. Peaceful's in Australia, so ignore her. But Princess Emily, who won yesterday against the boys, they put the blinkers on. I spoke to Lisa Latter. They said she said different horse with the blinkers on. This is a very good race. Spoke to Jamie Richards this morning about Avantage. He said, we are going to go to the 1,000 guineas. We've got the option to go to the 2,000 guineas, but we won't be going that way. Right. And she could well head to the Soliloquy, which is at Ellerslie on the comeback day. So the comeback day, October 27th, Bruce, could return their Avantage. Yes, they'll stick to the 1,600 metres going to the 1,000 guineas, then the Karaka Classic Mile, which is $1 million, of course, trying to back up from winning the two-year-old race last season. Out of Zabeel Mare, Jamie's thinking 2,000 metres could be potentially in the autumn plans, and that wouldn't surprise you. So she's a hell of a filly.
What did you make of her condition, Bruce, yesterday? I thought she packed a real punch compared to her two-year-old days.
Absolutely. We might get a bit of vision here before the race, the pre-race just going out. She's not an overly big filly, really strong, fast net look about her. I thought she was actually a little soft and would improve with the run, just looking at this and her underbelly.
Strong though, eh?
And then to go and do what she's done in the race off that, here's a filly that's going to improve lengths out of this run.
And so maybe Ellerslie, they're going to have a meeting Monday morning to decide exactly where they go. So she does have the option to come back here for the Hawke's Bay Guineas. Then Ellerslie potentially then down to Riccarton and then all those things after. A good one from Danielle, by the way, too. Like very similar to Shafiq's ride in the other race. Barrier draws do help, but in the last 200 metres, she managed to get the best out of that filly without striping her up, which is really important fresh up the fillies in spring. You don't want to be getting into them too much and to still get the win is what the punters wanted.
I thought that was one of the highlights of the race, actually, those two top New Zealand lady jockeys just going at it hammer and tongs up the straight, Sam Collett and Danielle Johnson. Let's get some of the post-match of the Gold Trail Stakes.
Absolutely wrapped with her today. Obviously, I've had to give away a length or two to get cover, and in the grand scheme of things, where she's heading, the mile at Christchurch is going to be right up her alley. I mean, she's so tractable in a race, and I was probably a length further back off Avantage than I would have liked, but when Danielle's popped down, sort of made room for me, my filly just put herself right there. And I mean, I thought she was going to get past her. Obviously, she's very tough, Avantage. I think my mare's, or filly's pretty classy as well, and the further she goes, the better she'll be.
Yeah, as you intended, sort of getting that far back, it seemed to be a real rush early.
Yeah, I hadn't really set my mind to it, but after having a chat to Guy, I mean, today, if it was a grand finale, maybe yes. But, I mean, she's got to run a mile, and I don't think she'll have that problem. And the way she settled and the turn of foot she showed today is really promising.
We had a lovely trip, and she's come up behind the first and second horse like she's going to come up to them, just a bit weak, I think. She's probably six months away from being her best.
Can she be competitive through the spring races though as a filly?
Oh, I think so. She's every time I've been riding her, she's improved and improved. So a bit more ground's going to help her too.
Really happy. She's obviously a filly that's going to get better the further she goes, being by Tavistock. So 1200 was always going to be tough for her, but and to be fair to her, she probably should have run third. She's been knocked over halfway down the straight and pushed into the fence and lost her momentum. So really, really happy going forward to the 1,000 guineas. I think once she gets up to a mile and further, she'll really come into her own.
And more on what happens to Cameron Lammis's beard very shortly. But earlier in the day, we had a filly taking on all the boys, and she was too good for them in the support 3-year-old race on the card. This is the Lisa Latta-trained Princess Amelie. Is that right?
Another race, league trail 3 back, and the eventual winner, Princess Amelie, in the trail there. Interesting call going to this race rather than the Gold Trail, the Group 2 at 1,200 metres. But really good win, quickened up nice. He's run a nice closing sectional. Overall time, a little slower than the Gold Trail, so she has to find a little bit off run times, and of course she was carrying a bit lighter weight here given she was running against the boys as well. King Louis off the front, a better run from him, and Star Performance working home nice.
She's $26 for the 1,000 guineas. The blinkers went on a couple of weeks ago in work, and that's woken her right up. She's an expensive horse. $300,000 out of Karaka by Schnitzel, and there's not many of those floating around the CD, so John Street bought that one, and look, they are confident they can get her to Riccarton. Now, Lisa also has Sir Nate going to the Guineas, and Lincoln Falls, who he showed you on the show last week, really impressive debutant, is going to go to the Special Conditions 1400 on the last day at Hawke's Bay, so she has 3 players in the markets for those Guineas races down there at Riccarton. Look, I think that also improved a lot. I'm not saying she'll beat these fillies because it's a very, very good crop, but gee, it's going to be a wonderful race.